Good evening, welcome to Mulenge Speaks series. Today we are tackling clip number 13, and we'll continue to talk about the migration of the Banyarwanda into the Bavira land or country, and now they are claiming Bijombo as their capital because they tested the authority or the customary authority by being chef de groupement for a small or short period of time. But we have shown all along that the Banyarwanda, which we know is a tribe from Rwanda, and the tribe of Banyarwanda is composed of three subgroups: the Bahutu, the Tutsi, and the Batwa. So by themselves or by itself, Tutsi is not a tribe, it is not an ethnic group, it is not a clan. So you have to understand that when you see people identify themselves as Batusi, you have to know that they are subgroup of Banyarwanda or Barundi. But here we are talking about one tribe, the Banyarwanda, living in Eastern Congo, especially the Tutsi subgroup. And so they claim that they are from Mulenge, and we have demonstrated that again and again that Mulenge is a place, is a person. Mulenge still exists as a person, he still exists. His forefather, his grandfather, his father was Mulenge. And Mulenge here, they are pygmies, they are Batwas. So if today the Batusi or the Banyarwanda call themselves that they have a link with Mulenge, they have to agree with you if they are pygmies, if they are descendant of the pygmies. If they are not, then they cannot, and they don't have a right to claim the name Mulenge. So don't be charmed by what you see on social media. You see somewhere that they say save Mulenge, songs of Mulenge, or so many things that are going on around the world on social media, on the TV, in the books, in the memorandum, the letters that they are sending to the UN General Secretary or the world leaders. Like we saw in the last clip, how they sent two letters, one to the African leader, the President of Democratic Republic of Congo, the other one to world leaders, including the USA President. So when they send the letter to African, they speak one language. When they send a letter to world leaders outside Africa, they send a different language. All that with the aim to deceive and to distract and to request or claim something that is not true. And so we know, unless the Banyarwanda declare plainly that they are descendant of the Mulenge pygmies, then we can agree with them that they have the right to maintain the name Mulenge. But if they are not, then they don't have the right to maintain that name, to use it for their purpose, or to carry it along everywhere that they are from Mulenge. We said that they passed through Mulenge for a short period of time, and because they were semi-nomadic people, they continued to move toward the westward. They reached the occidental border of the territory of the Bavira, and they pushed into Mwenga and to the Babembe region, particularly in the region of Minembwe and Itombwe. And so the problem that we're having now, as we're explaining this, the problem is that the international community around the world is always misunderstanding Africa traditional authorities, because they read the traditional African authorities or customary African laws and rights in the eyes of the colonial biases. Because the colonial authority, they came to Africa for other reasons. But we still have people out there, the scholars, economics, academics, and other people that when they come to do research, they tell the story as it is. And so we have seen with the West and the Pelchin how they expose, they describe the people, they describe the country of the Bavira and Bafulero in the plain term that we could, you and me, we can understand. They said that the Banyarwanda don't have a chefferie or the chieftaincy of their own. They live in the Bavira and Bafulero land. They live in the Bavira and Bafulero, and even in Babembe now, and the Barega now, in their land. They don't have a chieftaincy, they don't have a territory that they can call their own. And so when they send letters to the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo that they arrived at the end of the 19th century, which is true, based on the writing and the discovery of George West and the Pelchin. But when they wrote outside to congressmen, congresswomen, to prime ministers, or to human rights experts, to the UN, they said that they arrived in Congo in the 16th century. And so they claim that they are Congolese of origin. They claim that they are autochthone. But we have two constitutions in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We have two constitutions. One, the Constitution of Luabu, or the Constitution, the first Constitution of the Congo independent of August 1964, and the Constitution of 2011. Now, the Constitution of 1964 stated on Article 6, it says that there is only one Congolese nationality. Then subsection number 2 says, it is attributed on June 30th, 1960 to any person, including one of the ascendant who is or was member of a tribe or half of a tribe established on the territory of the Congo before October 18th, 1908. So the people, the territory, the tribes that formed the Congo Free State from 1885 to 1908, those tribes and territories that formed that personal property of King Leopold II, those territory and people are those who formed the Congo that we know today. And so they say those tribes or member of those tribes or half a tribe that were established on that territory before October 18, 1908 were Congolese national. But, they said but, however, those of the persons targeted on subsection 2, in French they call it alinéa 2 de l'article 6 de la Constitution de Luabu. And so they say, however, those of the person targeted on subsection 2 of this article who possess a foreign nationality on the date of entry into force of this constitution are reputed to obtain the Congolese nationality if they claim it in the form determined by an organic law, and if, because of that declaration, they lose that foreign nationality. So this is the plain language. We know that they understood that between 1908 and 1960, there were some foreign nationals on the territory of Congo. So they say, if your tribe was even before 1908, but you still had your foreign nationality, you have to make a declaration that you want to have a Congolese nationality. But at the same time, when you make that declaration, you are losing your foreign nationality. Which brings us to the Banyarwanda. We saw with the Royal Decree of 1891 that in Article 1, they testify that the Banyarwanda were called les indigènes des colonies voisines, or the indigenous of a neighboring colony, because they belong to the King of Rwanda, they belong to the German colony. but they were living in the Congo. So they were not Congolese of origin. And so they had two elements to be Congolese of origin: a tribe and a territory. Here in this Constitution of 1964, they're explaining the tribes. Yes, the Banyarwanda as a tribe, not as a clan, not the Tutsi, but the Banyarwanda, because they consider the Banyarwanda as one tribe. Because inside there were not only the Tutsi in the south of Kivu, but there were also Hutu in the north Kivu. So all of them, they were called Banyarwanda. But the problem is, in the south, they did not have any territory. And so the Constitution of 2011 says at Article 10, on subsection 2, the Congolese nationality is obtained either by origin or by individual acquisition. Of Congolese origin are all persons who belong to ethnic group whose member and the territory formed what has become the Congo, presently the DRC, upon its independence. Again, it says of Congolese origin are all persons who belong to ethnic group whose members and territory. So you have to have both the territory and the ethnic tribe. So the Banyarwanda as a tribe did not have a territory, but all other tribes, the Bavira, the Babembe, the Bafulero, the Barega, the Banyindu, even the Bashi, they had their own kingdoms. We can testify, we have writers, we have authors, we have academics who went to do some research in those areas. They found that there were kingdoms. So you can't have a kingdom without a king, you can't have a king without a kingdom. And those two elements formed what we call, or what the constitution, what the politicians, what the legislators called the Congolese of origin. That's why on this point, whether they come on 16th century, which is a lie, whether they came at the end of the 19th century, which is true, but the Banyarwanda were living, I'm quoting here the Belgian again, they were living in the Bavira and Bafulero chieftaincy, and their chief and sub-chief were subordinate to Bavira and Bafulero chiefs. Those are the quotations from George West and the Persian. So my friend, the Banyarwanda, they don't have the right, they cannot call themselves the Congolese of origin because they did not constitute they did not have the two elements, the territory and the group or member of a tribe. Yes, they were member of a tribe called Banyarwanda. They continue to be called Banyarwanda. They continue to be called Banyarwanda. We got the independence in Congo. They continue to be called Banyarwanda. We'll see even in the 1979 and 1971 when Mobutu was trying to help them, they were still being called Banyarwanda. And so they cannot claim any right to be autochthone or to be indigenous of origin, but they can be anything else. And so to end, I will read one of the royal decree of 1910. Here I'm quoting the Persian on page 215 of his PhD paper. He wrote regarding this royal decree of 1910, Article 1. The indigenous people of the Congo and those of neighboring colony who reside in the Congo are distributed among chieftaincies whose territorial limits are determined by the district commissioner according to custom. Article 1 is mentioning that we have indigenous Congolese and we have indigenous from the neighboring colony, which means the Banyarwanda that were living in Congo. That's in 1910. Article 9 also states, custom will determine who are the chief, the sub-chief of the various administrative areas. This is 1910, which predated the George West book in 1954,
predated Jacques de Perchin thesis in 1974. So we can see that even George West and de Perchin, they even quoted these two articles from the Royal Decree of 1910. So they were not hatred. They did not hate the Banyarwanda at this time, but they were only citing the document that were available at their disposal at that time. So without any land, you can be a tribe in Congo, but without any land, you can't be you don't qualify to be a Congolese of origin. And that's why we are saying to our Banyarwanda friends, brothers and sisters, you have to drop the name Mulenge, because you have no link to that name, unless you are a pygmy. But you are not a pygmy, you are a Bantu from Rwanda. So if you don't have a link to Mulenge, you cannot use it for your own purpose, for your own interest, because it is an ancestral site, an ancestral name, an ancestral tradition that we continue to enjoy as Bavira, as Bafulero, as Babembe, as Barega, because the land and the people were annexed, were occupied by the Bafulero, and they came, now they are part of the Bafulero tradition. And so the Bafulero are asking the Banyarwanda across the globe, help us to tell the Banyarwanda this name is very, very central to our culture, our tradition, and it only belongs to Bafulero. And the Banyarwanda have no right to claim it, to grab it, or to use it anywhere, because it is an insult to the tradition of the Bafulero. And so we end here for tonight. We'll use those two constitution articles to develop, to explain better how the Banyarwanda are using them outside Africa, outside Congo, to explain to Western brothers and sisters that they are Congolese of origin. So thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time, and we'll follow clip number 14, but this one is clip number 13. So enjoy it, share, read the description and comment, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you.